Hello. How are you guys doing? Okay, so we've got quite a few of us in here right now. Okay. There's also quite a bit of lag between me and YouTube, so I'm just gonna wait and see. I think you guys see me now. Always takes quite a long time, doesn't it? Okay, so, no, that's too high. There. You guys can hear me just fine anyway, right? Okay, so, before we begin, I wanted to just kind of give a quick introduction as to what these streams are about. This is just me chatting, just chatting with you guys. I do have my flute out over here because I was teaching right before this. So I've decided to leave it out in case you guys ask any flute questions, and I figured it'd be easier to just show you if I had my flute out. But I won't be playing it because I'm drinking this. But yeah, and it's like the purpose of these streams is to just keep each other company. We are now entering lockdown 2.0 in Washington State. So that's why the name of this stream is Lockdown 2.0, Tea Time with Joanna. And yeah, it's just, let's just talk flute, let's talk food, let's talk coffee and tea, and just kind of create our own virtual cafe, coffee shop feel, So there are some chat rules, which if you open up the info box below, you will see them. So just to kind of give you guys an idea, no spam fam. Please do not repeat messages, especially do not write all your messages in all caps. Do not share or ask for personal information. Please, guys, please. I'm trying to keep this space safe for everyone. So don't share your address. Don't ask for people's addresses. Don't ask for people's phone numbers. Don't give your phone numbers out. Like really personal contact information. Keep that all to yourself, please. I would prefer that there would be no discussions about sex, like sex acts, okay? Politics or religion. I am a big supporter of the LGBTQI plus, etc. Community. But so we can talk about that. We can talk about our experiences with that, but no sex acts, please. And if someone says something that you don't agree with, please do not shut them down. Instead, ask why and be open to having a good two-way conversation. And the reason why I say this is because we are limiting our conversation to music, flute, food, coffee, tea. Okay? So, if someone says something that you don't agree with within those conversations, within those topics, I don't think that it's worth to shut people down. I do think that it's more worth to ask why. And the last rule, which I had to add 2 weeks ago, which is please don't flirt with me. Just because I'm not wearing a wedding ring does not mean that I'm not in a loving, married relationship. I have my ring here. The only reason why I don't wear it all the time is because I'm handling flutes all the time. So there you go. That's what this stream is about. Those are our chat rules. And let's get the other fun thing out of the way, merch. So, whee! I'm wearing it again. I have a new discount code that I just made a couple hours ago for you guys. It's right here at the bottom here, Holiday 10. Get 10% off at my store. The link to the store is in the description box below, so please open that up and happy shopping. If you wanted to get something nice for yourself or for a family member or friend. Yeah. So, and I also just decided to put my Twitch over here because I'm actually way more active on Twitch than I am on YouTube. But yeah, okay, we're done our intro. Let's see who's here. Okay, yay. Finally done the intro. Oh, I can finally just drink my tea. That's good. All right, guys. Today's drink of choice is maple espresso black tea blend. So here, I'll show it here so you guys can see that a little better. Yeah, there we go. Maple espresso black tea blend. Isn't that interesting? So I read the ingredient list and this baby, oh man, there we go. Oh, it had some problems there. So I read the ingredient list and there is actually legit espresso coffee in here. So like, I'm guessing it's just like really finely ground coffee in here. So it's black tea, espresso coffee, natural flavors, roasted chicory, dandelion root, and fenugreek seed. Isn't that interesting? And yeah, it tastes really good. This is a new tea that is available at Trader Joe's, I believe. It is so good. It like tastes like legit everything this thing is. Maple, espresso, and tea all together. Highly recommend. This is my first time trying it. I was like so excited to try it on stream. All right, who's here? So Amir left a message saying that you're going to be sleeping when this is live. Thank you for leaving a really sweet message. Miranda was also here earlier. Unspirited was also here earlier, and I'm guessing you're here too. Michael is here as well. Okay, here we go. I'm going to rattle off a bunch of names. Deja, Christopher, Amy, Anna, Jamie. Oh, Jaylene. Yes, Jaylene. Thank you for putting your Twitch names here so I know who you are. Majimon Kichi, of course. Jacqueline. Good evening from Philadelphia. Woo! Beginning flute again after 45 years. Oh, fantastic. Excellent, excellent. Hello, Lewis. I saw your very sweet message on under my most recent videos that I posted. So thank you very much. It's so sweet of you. Hey, Leon, Melanie, Unspirited. Yep, I knew you'd be back. Alan's Music from Spokane, Washington. Yo, bro, we are both. You and me both. Lockdown 2.0, right? Yeah. Washington State. Six Tote, hello. How are you? Andrew, hello. Walking through Target. Lovely. Let's see. Who else is here? Melanie? Did I say hello to you, Melanie? Just looking through. Paul, hello, Paul. Paul Jones. So many people. Okay. Let me rattle off something. Hi, yeah, hello. My stream said to start at 12 a.m. tonight. Oh, that's weird. 12 a.m. my time? Because I did set it to start at 4 p.m. my time. Unless I accidentally set it at 4 a.m. I'm sorry if I did that. Oops. Hey, Ariana. How are you doing? Batman-y, hello. Welcome back. Jamie McRae, your brother is with you this time. Hello, Jamie's brother. And Jamie, of course. Hey, April. Hey, Jane. Oh, you guys. You guys are always so lovely. Hey, Samuel. Let's see. Lemon Crush. Hello. Nikki G is here. Emma Sprouse. Nicholas. Hello from Florida. Oh, fantastic. Celeste Sinclair. Hello. Pico Notes. Hello. The mug merch is stealing all your funds. Maple espresso. What a sacrilege to the tea. I know, right? I had to get it. Such a sacrilege. You have to try it, you know. You gotta. All right, who else is here? I'm hoping I'm not like missing anyone right now. Brittany, hello. Adamy, hello. Adam Y, is it supposed to be flutist or flautist? I claimed both. It's either. It depends on like flutist is a word and it works. Flautist, usually, like if I hear someone use the word flautist, then I know that they're probably pretty familiar with the classical music world. So I actually use it as more of a radar to see if people are, familiar with basically my industry. And it makes it so that, I can kind of gauge how nerdy I get with them, right? Because sometimes, like I've had instances where I got a little too nerdy with people and they just stared at me like I was insane. Does that happen to you guys? Like, I feel like that happens to me. Like, when people just, like you think that someone is interested in the same thing as you, based on maybe they said something to you, but you misunderstood and then you went like way off the deep end and they're just looking at you like you're completely insane. Yeah, I've had those experiences before. So now I kind of like, I just straight up tell people I'm a flutist and then I kind of gauge their reaction. If they say, oh, you're a flautist, then I'm like, oh, okay, then you're probably pretty familiar. And they're like, if they just go, oh, cool, then it's like, oh, okay, like I see. Longtime fan of my stuff, Nicholas. Thank you so much. Thank you. Stacy, hello. Hello from Kentucky. My goodness. Fantastic. Jane, you're right. I was just talking about this earlier on Twitch. I am horrible when it comes to private messaging. Any form, it's just really bad. Like the only form of private messaging that I'm really, really, really good on is my lesson emails. So please don't abuse that. I will block people if you flood my lesson emails, because my lesson email inbox is really just for my students. Like I am on top of that email, but that's the only one. Yeah. Samuel saying flute is English and flaut is German. So in the Romance languages, like for example, like in Italian is flautista, right? So it makes sense to just say flautist because it sounds like that, right? It sounds the same, flauto, so it like the Romance languages, it does sound more like flout rather than flute. Flute is fully English, so I think that's where that comes from. But, I don't know for sure, but I think that's where that comes from. Michael, you've been binge watching my flute reviews. Oh, fantastic. What might be interesting is for you to binge watch them in chronological order, because you can kind of see my progress where I like go from, not knowing what I'm doing at all to kind of like forming a rubric for my flute reviews. So now I have this rubric of like, I try out harmonics to help me figure out the flute. Then I try out tone color, kind of mixed in with dynamics. I try out articulation, try out the mechanism, kind of experiment. Like I kind of like go through like a little mental list of like different keys that I want to wiggle to see how they respond. And what's the last one? I know that there's another one. I did articulation. Did I say articulation? I think so. Something like that. But I kind of like over time created a rubric. Mr. Stubby, you play a flute, not a flout. I mean, in another language, you would be playing a flout, right? Adamy, you're on the flout side, flautist. I don't care either way. To me, it's just a word. It's like, it has no significance as to like to your, actual career or to how you play the flute. Like, there's no significance to that, so Yeah. I'm catching up with what you guys are saying. Flautista is Spanish? Oh, I'm sorry. Frida, definitely you would know. Thank you for the correction. Oh, was it your ukulele video on YouTube? Oh, fantastic, Jane. Fantastic. Any tips on not being worried for a solo? Asks Lily. Hi, Lily. Welcome to the stream. And hi, Laura. I'm so sorry. Wait, why are you sad? Why are you sad? I mean, you come here for, exactly what you should come here for. The company. That's what this stream is for. It's to give us all some company. Okay. So Lily, great question. Now if this is the first time you're doing a solo with your, in band, you're going to have to kind of expect that you're going to be nervous. The worst thing that you could possibly do to yourself is say, I should not be nervous, or why am I so nervous? You should kind of accept it, right? Accept the nervousness and use that extra adrenaline from the nervousness, like channel it into like a more positive kind of manifestation. So I'm saying you can channel that adrenaline into like good posture. You can channel it into expressing yourself more. You can channel it into, et cetera, et cetera. Like if you think of nervousness as extra energy to burn, that is a much more positive way of seeing nerves. If you keep trying to shove nerves under the rug, it's just going to feel even worse. So that's why I'm saying that you kind of have to look your nervousness in the face and be like, I accept you. I see you. I accept the extra energy. I accept the extra adrenaline rush. Now what am I going to do with that adrenaline rush? Right? So, other than that, let's talk practical now. Since you're going to be doing this solo in front, like with your band class, if it's at all possible for you to find a recording out there of the piece that you're doing, play along with the recording, because it gives you a good idea of what it feels like to play when other people are playing. So practice with the recording. The first few times is not going to be that great, but that's okay. Same thing happens to me. So, and that's fine. By the fourth or fifth time though, like the fourth or fifth day, that's when your brain kind of clicks in and is kind of like, oh, okay, it's not too bad. And you're just getting yourself used to it. So that's what I would say. That if you have no recording to go on, just running the solo once or twice a day. Don't overdo it. Just running the solo once or twice a day, though, to kind of work it into like your system so that it feels like something you've memorized or something that you just know really well. The more you know it, the less chance there is for you to kind of question yourself when you're actually playing for them. So like basically my tip is memorize it because you can kind of like create the feelings of hyper self-awareness where you're kind of questioning like, what note is that? What, does it really feel like that for my fingers? And does it really feel like that for my mouth or blah, blah, blah? Like, is it really that much air or is it really that little air? And you can make all those questions come up during your own practice sessions if you memorize it. So you can kind of pre-band rehearsal, get all those hyper self-awareness questions out so that you're prepared for them when they actually happen in the actual rehearsal. Does that make sense? So there you go. I hope that covered kind of as many parts of that question as possible. So like the mental, working with the recording versus not working with the recording. I hope that helped. Yeah. Let's see. Katamione Potter. Hello, welcome back. Let's see. Tips on getting a new flute. Okay. Just changed from your beginner's flute that you had for 8 years to your Muramatsu EX3. Oh, congratulations. That's gorgeous flute. So getting used to a new flute. If it's brand new, you have to expect that it will be, depending on how much you play it, will be anywhere from a few months to like 6 months break-in period. So if the flute is new, it needs to be broken in. So it is going to feel almost like a tad bit resistant to you for the first bit. So you have to expect that. So the first thing is expectation. Expect the break-in period. The other thing is you, like, at least for me, because when you switch to a new flute that fits you better, one of the biggest things that I had to work on was just relaxing myself down. So I had to relax myself down and not actually overdo movements as much, like inside my mouth, air pressure, etc. I had to relax everything down. So those would be my 2 tips. One is expect the break-in period and just be okay with it, because that will kind of mitigate a lot of the frustration. And then the second thing is, like, work on relaxing yourself down. So if something doesn't work, don't work harder, relax down. So this is what happens when you go to a higher level flute. If anything, you have to relax down. Yeah, those would be my tips. At least that's just from my experience of, changing to a new instrument. Each time it happened, I always had to kind of relax myself down. Yeah. As Pavarotti said, anyone who says they're not nervous before a performance is a liar. Yes. Is it Jorge? Hello from Texas. Have you ever tried microscope cleaning paper sheets instead of cigarette paper? No, I haven't. And thank you for telling me about that. I had no idea that was even the thing. That's so interesting. No, I have not tried it because I've never heard of using that for blotting. You're talking about blotting flute keys, right? Hey, Pabs, how are you doing? You're welcome, Lily. Okay, give me a second, guys, to just catch up with the chat. It's going to catch up. Too bad your hands usually start shaking when you're nervous, Adam. I'm sorry. Yeah, it really is a lot of extra energy and adrenaline, isn't it? Like, I wonder how you would channel that. I don't know. I'm really sorry. I don't have an answer for that, but it is making me think. Yeah. Thanks for the tip. Okay, great. All right, let's see. You're welcome, Katamione. It's Katamione, right? That has to be how you pronounce it, because it's like Hermione. Apparently, some people thought that Hermione's name was pronounced Hermione. I find that hilarious. I haven't watched Gina's video on flute to piccolo yet. Was there something that you wanted my opinion on? Because you could just ask me. Christmas is coming up. You were wondering if you should ask for a bunch of method books. Oh yeah, do it up, man. The one that I teach out of is the Trevor Y practice books 1 to 6. That's the one that I heavily teach out of. There's a few other really good ones. I think it's the Kujala ones are really good too. Yeah. That's true. Victor Crumb did call Hermione Hermione. I can't believe you remember that. My God. I forgot that. You're right. Isn't that in the book? Like, that's not even in the movie. That, yeah, I think that's from the book. Samuel, you feel like you're the only one with a Haynes Amadeus? Oh no, Haynes Amadeus is very, very popular. So you might feel like it, but you're not, I can assure you. And in any case, right now, I mean, especially with the lockdown, don't we all feel like we're the only ones in our own heads, especially in, when we're practicing and stuff, right? Yeah. It, like, I think we all have to keep in mind that, like, right now, with the, situation that we're living in, I think, like, we're so cooped up at home that I think we forget that everyone else is going through the same thing too. And also that, like, you just feel alone in everything, like even in, like, owning your type of flute. Why are you not seeing other people own this type of flute? It is because you're literally not seeing them. So I can assure you, Haynes Amadeus is very, very, very popular. So, like, there's plenty of people who have one. Plenty. Yeah. Tafnel and Gobert Daily 17. That one is a very good one. Did you guys know it's on public domain now? Thank the public domain lords. It's on IMSLP, so you guys can go look it up. It's on. Just type in Tafnel and Gobert 17 big daily exercises IMSLP. It'll be the first link. I think it got into the public domain sometime last year or the year before, and then some gorgeous soul out there scanned it and put it up onto IMSLP. Oh, bless that person, man. Bless that person. Was it Eugene of Try Guys that said Hermione? Really? Did he? Oh, yesterday I watched Eugene's Try Guys video with Jessie, the K-pop star. Holy cow, he learned that routine. At least the video made it look like he learned the routine really quickly, and Eugene being Eugene, I believe it. Holy cow. Like, that was a pretty sick routine. That was a pretty sick dance routine. It was pretty cool, man. Yeah. And they talked a lot of, like, really interesting cultural things too, which I thought was really interesting. Like, if you guys haven't seen that video, like, even if you're not really into that music, just the conversation that they have surrounding culture, and kind of like how a lot of Asian Americans feel. It's a very interesting conversation that they have. Jorge. It is Jorge, right? Finals and juries coming up soon. Any tips for you college and university music students? Oh, I am so flattered that you're watching this as a music student. Thank you. All right, finals and juries. Okay, so it's kind of similar to what I was telling Lily earlier, which is that you want to run your full program, whether it be for your final or whether it be for your jury or whether it be for your recital. You want to run the full program at the very least starting 2 weeks before the jury, before the exam. At the very least, you have to run it every day, once, all the way through, no stopping. In this day and age that we are living in, a lot of your juries are now going to be recorded and sent in due to, just COVID regulations. So if you have to record it, what I suggest is before the due date of the recording, every day for at least 2 weeks, make 5 recording takes of your whole thing. Like, especially if it's just a jury. If it's a jury, it should be like around 15 to 20 minutes. So you want to do 5 takes at the most. 5 takes at the most. And what happens is that usually the 3rd or 4th take amongst the 5 takes is the best one. And then you want to save the next 5 takes for the next day so that you're fresh. The other thing that this allows is for you to get other work done and not just get super hung up on the recording, on getting it perfect. because what you want is to have a fresh view every 5 takes rather than burning yourself out doing like 20, 25, 30 takes in a single day, because that will take you like the whole day. I can assure you. So like I've been telling my students right now, the way that you should do any sort of submitted recording is every day do 5 takes, pick the best one out of that one and set it aside, right? After like a week, what you can do is compare all of the best recordings. So like, let's say you recorded 5 days. So you have now 25 recordings and 5 of those 25 are pretty good. Now you have 5 good recordings to pick and choose from to send off to. Let's say you only had a week to do it, right? If you had 2 weeks to do it, then you had 50 takes, and I'm assuming that you took the weekend off, okay? That's why I'm saying 5 days, all right, is a week. After 2 weeks, you'll have 50 takes total. You will have 10 takes that are pretty good, and then you can choose from the 10 the best one to send off. What ends up happening if you record over a whole entire day, by the end of the day, like 95% of the recordings you make are absolute trash. So you can make 50 recordings, 50 takes in a day, but you'll only have like 2 or 3 of them that are good. Whereas you would have 10 that are pretty good if you did it slowly, right? Yeah. So, that's something to consider. And so before these 2 weeks of actual recording, I've been advising my students to practice recording themselves. So you can just throw away the recording afterwards, but you have to get used to playing while this little red light is kind of like, blinking at you, or, whatever is the recording type of thing that you're doing. Like if you're doing it on your phone, you can see the red button going, you know what I mean? Like that like red button and the red light, that's like blinking at you is like the most terrifying thing, because you realize that like everything you're playing is being recorded. So that's kind of like how you can go about this, right? Is for 2 weeks before. So we're talking 1 month before the jury now. Okay, so 1 month before the jury, the first 2 weeks, all you're doing is practicing recording. So anytime you're going through your entire lineup of stuff, press record and get used to playing. The first few times are going to be actually awful, okay? And that's okay. Do not get discouraged. You will get used to it. It takes 2 weeks to form a habit, okay? That's why I keep going with the 2 weeks, all right? So 2 weeks to form a habit, and then what you do is you can just throw away those recordings, okay? Because you don't even have to look at them, all right? It's the 2 weeks before the actual due date. That's when you start doing the recordings for real. Yeah. The only thing that blows out of the water is if you get a panel, throw some random piece for you to play cold. You mean like sight reading? Yeah. But the rest of your stuff you can prepare, right? Like just because they're going to throw one piece at you that you're not prepared for does not mean that you can't be crazily prepared for the rest of it, right? You only have so much energy, right? If you spend a whole bunch of your energy just trying to get like the prepared part correct in front of the judges, right? Then you only have so much energy left to concentrate on the sight reading part. If you are like way almost over prepared for the prepared portion of it, so that you could be thinking about what you're going to have for lunch or dinner while you're playing, like that's the idea, is like you want to know your music so well that you're just like thinking about other things and it's just like nothing to you while you're playing. And then that way you have like 90% energy left to focus on the sight reading, right? You're not, you go into the sight reading way less frazzled, right? Yeah. Yeah. So, it's that's kind of how I see it, right? And like I'm just saying all this stuff from experience. Like, why would I say these things from experience, guys? It's because I didn't do it that way a lot of the time. And I reaped the horrible consequences from it. That's why I failed my, it's one of the reasons why I failed my first master's audition. I failed it because I didn't prepare, I didn't prepare fully for it. And I didn't realize that I didn't prepare fully for it. I didn't account for intonation problems. I did not account for like the coldness of the floor versus how hot the room was. I didn't account for like what to do with my extra nerves and what that would do to how I played. So I ended up rushing like crazy, plus playing really, really, really out of tune. So, I mean, it's not that surprising that I failed the audition, you know? Ooh! Katamine, you've had the experience of thinking of something else while playing with the syrinx. See, that means you know it really well. Like, if you know it that well, then, like, yeah, you could play it anywhere. Yeah. You're doing homework, Melanie, and stressing the heck out. Oh, I'm sorry. We're here. We're your homework buddies. Frida is asking what I'm drinking. I'm happy to show you again. It is maple espresso tea latte. I did foam some almond milk to put on top. But it is very good. This is a new tea at Trader Joe's. I've never seen this before, ever. So maybe it was around for other years, but I don't recall it. So, yeah. Oh, Ariana, you have a Haynes Amadeus too. Yep, see, there you go. Who is it? Was it who was the one? Was it Samuel? Yeah. Samuel, see? You have another Haynes Amadeus buddy in here. Yeah. Louis, you're a musician in a family of sportsmen and women, so you feel a bit lonely. Oh, I'm sorry. You hate having to play by yourself now. Oh my God. That's the thing, like, that has taken the worst hit from the pandemic. It's like playing with other people. You can't really do it in a really safe way. There's no 100% safe way to do it. Yeah. Pico Notes is wondering if I had any tips producing clear tonguing and staccato on the low register. Currently having problem of the air sound first, then the sound. So what it sounds like is it's a delay, right? 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 Is that what it sounds like? So it means that because low notes need to sit in the front of the mouth, and I'll give you guys like a really quick reason why. So we got to go rewind back first into like the physics of the flute, right? Very basic physics is that if you play with low air pressure airstream into the flute, you will get lower notes. If you play with high pressure airstream, you'll get higher notes. Now you can try this on your hand. If you were to blow a low pressure airstream onto your hand, low pressure constant airstream onto your hand, but you blew from really far back in your mouth, so it's kind of like in the area where you'd go, right? So if you blew from that point, but with a low air pressure, you will actually feel the airstream flickering, okay? So you can try this on your hand and blow from really far back. You can actually feel it kind of flickering like a candle, like a candle flame. However, if you were to blow with that same low air pressure airstream, from the front of your mouth. So in the same area where you would like blow out a candle very gently, right? In that same area where you're blowing there, if you did a low air pressure airstream against your hand, you'll actually feel like it's a lot more consistent. It no longer flickers. You can control the shape of the airstream too. Right? Okay. So the opposite is true for high notes. When you're playing with really high air pressure, if you were to blow with very high air pressure, but from the front of your mouth, you'll feel like it goes everywhere, okay? Now, if you were to do that same high air pressure, but you were to blow from further back in the mouth, in the spot where you would go, okay? So if you blow from there, but very high air pressure, you will notice that you can now control the shape of the airstream. It's a lot more naturally focused, and you can just like control how basically just how consistent it is, right? So if we go from further back, you guys notice you can control the shape of the airstream more, right? Okay, now let's talk tonguing, okay? Now, based on where your air needs to be, here's what I'm telling you, Pico Notes, is that you are locating the problem as tonguing, when I think the first issue is where you're starting the air. So you are saying that it's for low notes. What you are saying is implying to me that you are blowing low notes from too far back in the mouth. You have to blow it from further forward, okay? So start the air in your mouth from further forward. Start pushing from further forward. Just because it's low does not mean that you have to think of singing low notes like, oh, okay? Because if we think of singing low notes, we think of it as like really far back in the mouth, like really like in the throat, right? But that's not how it works on the flute. On the flute, it's really far forward. I learned this from my master's professor, Linda Lucas, okay? She was the one who told me this, all right? So you do it from the front of your mouth so that you can control the airstream, okay? Okay, now that we have your air in the right place, now we have to match your tongue to it. So your tongue does not tongue in the same spot all the time. Your tongue has to match where you're pushing the airstream from. So when you are tonguing low notes, you have to tongue really far forward. What I mean by far forward is like the most far forward you can tongue is like between your lips. That's called French tonguing. It's actually a kind of like a special effect tonguing. So there is a form of French tonguing that I call faux French tonguing, which is that instead of between your lips, it's between your teeth. So you're going between your teeth. Now, as you go up the tooth, that is the equivalent of going further and further back. And then you can actually start tonguing against the roof of your mouth. Now, the range of motion in terms of where it sounds the best for tonguing forward versus tonguing back, and that range of motion in terms of like where your low notes are is different from flute to flute. Not only is it different from flute to flute, it is also different from person to person. So the two people can play the same flute and have to tongue in slightly different spots. And that's not like surprising because no two people are exactly the same. You have different mouth shapes, you have different teeth, you have different bodies, right? So, but the ground level, like the baseline concept is the same. Okay? If you're listening for symptoms, which you have correctly, and good job on that, by the way, Pico Notes, you have correctly identified a symptom, which is that you hear the tongue first and then the sound comes out. Now what we have to do is locate why, right? So that's why I had to talk you through this whole entire thing, right? It starts from the air and then you add the tongue. So you match the tongue to where your air is supposed to be. That's my super long answer to your question. So I did not actually tell you where to tongue. You have to figure that out based on how it sounds, because I'm not you and my flute is not your flute. All right. Now that range of motion, by the way, is much bigger on a beginner level flute. And the reason is because you want you want a greater margin of error, right? So you want a bigger margin of error so that it's easier for beginner students to feel where they need to go, right? It's easier to feel, but the range is huge. So as you go higher and higher in the levels, what I've noticed is that the range gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And so by the time you get to a professional level instrument, the range is super small, but hopefully it is very natural for you in that spot to do like very like micro adjustments to things. And, you know, like it's like driving a whatchamacallit, like a race car. You know what I mean? Like really nice luxury car that has like all the different, gears and buttons and, you know, whatever. I don't know anything about cars. Okay. Like, you know, like it's like being able to do everything manual, right? Which means that you have ultimate control, but you have to know what you're doing. Okay. Now I'm going to see how you guys reacted to that, because I could not read the chat while giving that explanation. So let me catch up with the chat. Hey, Jay Cortez, welcome back. I'm so sorry it took me so long to welcome you back. How are you doing? All right. Let's see what you guys are saying. On the voice is the same. Low notes, any notes not from the throat. How interesting. That's super interesting. Jamie McRae. I feel like we have two Jamies in here. Are you Jayleen? You're going to bed anyway. Good night, Jamie. Yeah. So, okay, let me just catch up. Amy, it sounds like you're trying it. Weird, right? Adam, you're playing Erlkönig from Schubert on the flute? Wow. And you're a newbie. Good job. Fellow tea drinker, yes. I drink tea more often than coffee now, even though technically speaking, I like coffee more, but my skin can't take it. Like I just break out if I have more than 3 cups of coffee a week. 3 is already like borderline. I should really only have 2. Any tips for someone who can't go to Target without buying more Christmas decorations? You know, Andrew, you're in the wrong place for not buying more Christmas decorations. Target is very good with their marketing. So, I'm sorry. Yeah, Samuel, you're the one with the Haynes Amadeus. Yes. All right, perfect. Jay Cortez, if you have a low note at the end of a long phrase, you sound like a stoned cow. Oh, come on. Can't be that bad. Come on. You finally got the Trevor Y practice books, Jay Cortez. Oh, fantastic. I hope you enjoy those. You slouch on your sofa while playing and you're tired of running out of air mid-phrase. Yeah, it's that lung, man. Like, you have to really sit up to give yourself space. Is that what you're finding too? Yeah. Man, you guys are the best. I just want to say, hey, Roman. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. All right. For the voice, if you go with the throat, you have tons of control, but no projection. That's true. That is so true. Yeah. Brittany has a great question. Also, Brittany, welcome back. I do recognize your username, and thank you. Just so you guys know, if you guys come back often enough, I recognize your names, okay? Like, you guys mean something to me. So thank you for your company. I benefit from these like hangout sessions as much as I hope you guys do. Any tips on getting back to the flute after a year off? Uni was kicking your butt, but you have a 3-month break. All right, you got to do a slow ramp up. All right, you got to think of it like a workout. Okay, if you go too hard, you're gonna injure yourself. So don't do that. Okay, now. What I suggest is also building a healthy, positive, like addiction to the kind of dopamine hit that you get after a practice session. So here's what I suggest. And this is what I did to myself for working out, also for practicing. All right. So I only allowed myself 2 days a week to work out. So in your case, it would be practicing. So 2 days a week. And only about 20-30 minutes, okay? So that just kind of gets you a little bit of a dopamine hit afterwards, and then you can also kind of take a little bit of a break in between, okay? It's really important that you like restrict yourself actually. So you do this for about 2 to 3 weeks, kind of depends on how you feel. After 2 weeks, increase it to 3 times a week, okay? Another 2 weeks after that, increase it to 4 times a week. And then another 2 weeks after that, you can increase it to 5. I currently only practice 5 days a week because the flute is my work and I need to have weekends. Yes. So that's just me though. If you're doing it for fun, then you can up it to 6 days a week if you would like, but you definitely need a rest day. Guys, please take a rest day, okay? It's just like working out. You need time to process what you learned, and sometimes, well, at least once a week, you gotta give yourself a break. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't listen to flute music and you don't do it stuff like that. No. You know how they talk about active rest days? You can do that for the flute too, okay? So you basically take an active flute rest day. So you listen to recordings, look up something interesting on the internet about the flute, maybe some like fun readings, a word or two on the flute by W.N. James is a very hilarious read. Fluty things, you know what I mean? Like do fluty things, but just don't play. You know what I mean? Like you could take an active flute rest day. So that's my first tip, is building a healthy, positive addiction to practicing, because we don't want to turn it into something that you feel guilty about. You want it to be something that you would be willing to put something down to do it, like you're excited to go and do it. And building up slowly like that, I have found, I never thought I'd be one of these people, but I'm like, actually like today is one of my workout days and I am legit really excited for it. Like I never thought I'd be one of these crazy people, okay? But I actually really enjoy it because I enjoy that dopamine hit I get, okay? Like you're kind of creating that like positive addiction. So, oh, you go more by George. Okay, Jorge. George. Okay, anyway. So, okay, so that's how you build up first just the mental aspect of getting back into practicing, okay? So that's the mental aspect. Now let's talk more practical. So if you're gonna go more practical, what I would suggest is the first week or two, heavily tone-based, lots of harmonics, okay? So page 6 of the Trevor Y practice books 1 to 6, book 1 tone, page 6, okay? Do that page for like 2 weeks, okay? And then, so in terms of legit practicing, you're pretty much legit practicing harmonics. And then at the end of your practice session, maybe 15-20 minutes or so, play something for fun, okay? Find something on flute tunes, maybe dig up something old that you played before and just have some fun with it, okay? Because you have to incorporate the fun. You got to get that dopamine hit, okay? So, but in terms of practical wise, if you've taken a break for so long, you'll need a little while to kind of ramp back up. So at least 2 weeks. So that's in total 4 sessions at the very least of harmonics. The following 2 weeks after that, incorporate a little bit of technique. Maybe in your case, maybe you should do a scale and arpeggio review. Okay, so what you can do is maybe 2 octaves, all major minor scales, but you only allow yourself to do 4 scales a day. Okay, so if you do 4 scales a day, it means that you can get through all 12 major scales in 3 sessions. So that's 1 week. Okay, the next week you can do all natural minor scales, right? Now, the fifth week now, because we're now 4 weeks in. So 5th week, what you can do is you can either increase your technique stuff. So you can either do maybe 8 scales a day instead of 4, or you can add some technical exercise. So you can add in one of the Tafnel and Gobert 17 big daily exercises, something like that. But don't go nuts with it, okay? Do like 1 page of Tafnel and Gobert with like maybe 4 different articulations, and that's it. You know, chunk your way through like that, okay? And then, or in a similar fashion, okay? And then, so now we've got harmonics, we've got some scales, we've got some extra technique, okay? I would also maybe in that 4th week add in a bit of tone work. So for me, what I would do, you know, in terms of guiding a student through it, I would get them to start. There's 2 places that I heavily suggest. One is Trevor Y, page 7 now. You can start with his low tone and just kind of chunk your way through 1 or 2 exercises a day. Don't go crazy, okay? Don't go crazy. Don't burn yourself out, okay? Only 1 or 2 exercises per day, all right? Or Della Sonorite by Marcel Moyes is also very good, starting on page, I believe it's also 6. And 1 exercise a day, because his exercises are longer. So 1 exercise a day. Follow his rules, which is quarter note equals 60 beats per minute. Each slurred group, only minimum 2 times, maximum 3 times. You're not allowed to do more than that. He also does not want you to burn out. Okay, so you do that. So that's starting from the 5th. That's starting on the 5th week. So as you can tell, you're starting to get a little bit more hardcore now, because they're doing some harmonics, they're doing some tone, scales and arpeggios, and technique. So come the 7th week, that's when you want to start incorporating some etudes and some repertoire. So I would go easy on the etude at first, just to ease yourself in. You can do something that's a little bit on the easier side, maybe a Garibaldi, maybe something cute like a curler romantic etude is also super cute. You know, just to kind of get yourself back into the etude sort of, you know, thing. And then you can pick a piece of repertoire and start working at it chunk by chunk, all right? And then that should kind of be a nice ramp up into getting you back into the mental aspect and the practical aspect of getting back into practicing. So I hope that helps you. Yeah? Brittany, right? So Brittany, I hope that really helps you. That's how I would guide my students to ramping back up again. It's really important to consider the mental aspect of getting back into practicing after not practicing for a while. You really have to treat it like a workout. Like you're getting back into working out. Please don't do it more than 2 times a week in the beginning, right? Like your body needs to adjust to it. Okay, like you really don't need to do like freaking Chloe Ting, like, you know, 2-week ab shred challenge, whatever it's called, you know, like right off the bat after not working out for a year. Okay, like don't do that type of thing. So don't do it to yourself on the flute. All right. Roman is asking for best unconventional practice advice. I believe it's one that I've mentioned. Have a rest day. That's my unconventional one. You have to have a rest day. You have to. You need it, okay? I don't care how much hate I get for this, because I've definitely gotten hate for it. You need a rest day. You're going to burn out if you don't. All right, that's my unconventional one. There you go. Do I have any tips for getting into Baroque style music? Samuel. Oh, you're asking a wonderful, wonderful question. Thank you for asking this question. All right, you gotta listen to the stuff, man, okay? You have to have that sound in your head, because the natural sound of the modern flute these days is just way too freaking powerful for Baroque music, okay? you really need to like listen to period music. Okay, so like go listen to like Taffel music, Saint Martin in the Fields. There's another Baroque one that I'm like having a brain fart about, but there's like 3 like top period ensembles out there in the world. And like right now I can only remember 2 of them, Taffel music and Saint Martin in the Fields. And they're so good. Like it's a very specific sound. It's archaic to us now, but it is so freaking charming if you can get into it. You need to listen to the music to get a feel of how those dances feel, because they're very archaic to us now. We don't dance like that anymore. You have to listen to the music and immerse yourself in the music that played on period instruments. If you can have that in your ear, then you can imitate it on our very powerful modern instruments now. You can imitate that sound. Even if you imitate it on a modern flute, you still don't get the true sound, but at the very least, you get that feel across. You gotta immerse yourself in listening to Baroque music. You have to. There's no other way around it. If you don't know how it sounds, you don't know how it sounds, you know? Yeah. Louis, you were confused when I said that I recognize your username. Come on. I see you commenting on my videos, and you're always so dang sweet. Thank you. All of you guys in here are very, very sweet. So, like, I wanted to let you guys know I totally see. I should be verified on YouTube, Michael is saying. Thank you for saying that. That's very, very kind of you to say, but I'm not actually that big on YouTube. I would say that I think I'm fairly well known within the niche of the classical flute world. I'm okay with that. It's a lot less pressure, you know? Yeah, I'm okay with that. Ooh, April, having a whole stash of chocolate for your practice reward. I like it. Positive reward. Yes, you need that. Shall we get a page or 9 out of the book? Maybe we shall. Mizzy Mechi, I recognize your username too. How are you doing? I am doing well. I'm doing much better these days. Do you guys notice I have a lot more energy now? You know why? It's weird how sleeping better, eating more healthy, actually hydrating and moving your limbs around a couple times a week really actually makes you feel mentally a lot better. Weird how that works, right? So yeah, I am doing a lot better. I like crawled myself out of like a depressing hole, like mental hole that I was in back in August. You guys remember how tired I was back then? Yeah, I'm glad I showed you guys though. I'm glad I documented it because like I think it's important to look back and kind of know, you know, what happened. 2020 is basically just a dumpster fire of a year, right guys? Like, yeah. I should be verified on everything. Oriana, thank you so much. Yeah. Concerto Copenhagen, English Consort, Academy Byzantina. Okay, everything that Jay Cortez is listing, go listen to that kind of stuff, man. That's the kind of stuff you should be listening to. Yeah. Excellent. Can't wait to play again, Brittany. Oh, fantastic. You used to practice for hours every day? So, really though, you be careful, okay? Don't burn yourself out. So you really need to start slow, and you just have to tell yourself a month can go by very quickly. You'll be at your 5th week where you'll be practicing a lot more very quickly. But take that first month to just ramp up slowly into it. Like mentally, it'd be a lot healthier for you. A lot healthier. Yeah. Oh, you're reading Macbeth, Melanie. Out, damn spot. Do I still have it? I'm not sure if I kept it. Yeah, I might not have kept it. But I studied that back in high school too. Is that the one with the toil, boil, something, trouble, something, boil, something, toil, something. I'm sorry, guys. Here. Toil and trouble, right? Double, toil and trouble. There we go. Not bubble. Yes. Fire. There is bubble. Fire burning cauldron bubble. Fillet of a fenny snake in the cauldron boil and bake. Eye of newt and toe of frog. Wool of bat and tongue of dog. Adder's fork and blind worm's sting. Lizard's leg and howlet's wing. For a charm of powerful trouble like a hell broth boil and bubble. Double, toil and trouble. Fire burning cauldron bubble. Cool it with a baboon's blood. Then the charm is firm and good. There you go. I think I had to do it was called like an oral analysis. So I had to talk out loud and be taped while doing this and sent in for grading. I think it was on I think it was on out, down, spot. Out, down, spot, out, I say. 1, 2. Why then, 'tis time to do it. Hell is murky. Fie, my lord, fie. A soldier and feared? What need we fear who knows it, when none can call our power to account? Yet who would have thought the old man to have had so much blood in him? Oh, this is bringing back memories of IB English. My God. By the way, the toil and trouble scene, when they're saying all these ingredients that they're putting in, apparently the names of those things, like Eye of Newt and stuff like that, those were actually legit ingredients, but they just had weird names. But there were things like spices and stuff like that they threw in there. Yeah. Jay Cortez knows it. Double, toil and trouble. Fire burning cauldron bubble. Hey, David. How are you doing? All right. Mizzy is asking. Orchestra of Age of Enlightenment. There we go. Okay. So whoever was asking about the Baroque thing, go listen to these things. These people. Orchestra of Age of Enlightenment. I love it. Okay. So Mizzy, you're asking... Do I have any tips on beginning to practice orchestral excerpts? You want to work towards the most common ones prepared for auditions, but not sure how to balance it all. Go to this wonderful website called orchestraexcerpts.com. Oh my God. I wish this was available when I was in school. You know why? The thing has multiple recordings of different orchestras playing just the excerpt that is written in there. It is mind-boggling amazing. So orchestraexcerpts.com/flute to get to all of the flute excerpts. Those are kind of the main ones that you will see in auditions. Okay, so how to practice them. So you want to take it kind of like one at a time, and you practice them the same way that you do your repertoire. So first, get to know it in whichever way works best for you. For me, kind of sight reading it and working things out mathematically works the best for me. For other people, they do need to hear it first before it makes any sense to them. So first, just learn it normally at a reasonable speed. I think the other really amazing, I think in orchestraexcerpts.com, I think you can lower the speed. Yeah, I think you can, because you can do like 80% speed, 70% speed, etc. So if you want something to like practice with, You can actually lower the speed of the ones in orchestraexcerpts.com. Oh man, I really wish this was available when I was in school. Would have been so helpful. So first learn it the way, like at a reasonable learning tempo, the way that you best learn. Okay, so spend a couple weeks doing that. And then what you want to do is start practicing playing them with the recording going in your ear. So orchestraexcerpts.com being super great for that. You can just hit play and it's pretty much around where your excerpt is going to start. So yeah, so like what I would do is just go one at a time. Okay, don't go crazy trying to learn like 3 or 4 of them, because right now you're just beginning to practice them. Okay, so what you want to do is go through them one by one. All right, and then like after a bunch of them start to feel pretty darn comfortable, then you can start like. That's why, like, if you're given an orchestral like audition list, that's why you can just practice a whole bunch of them at the same time, because you actually already know them. Right now, you're at the point where you're just starting to get to know them. So take it slow, okay? Take it slow, one at a time. Don't overwhelm yourself, because if you overwhelm yourself, you're just not going to do it anyway, right? You might as well go slow. Slow and steady wins the race, all right? I hope that answers your question. But orchestraexcerpt.com/flute, that is the real answer. Use that website to death. It is such a great resource for you guys. Oh my God. There was a head joint as well that lifts my mood up. Yeah, you're right. Katamai. It really kind of like was sort of that big crowning feature of me getting my passion back for the flute. So if you guys don't know, I talked about this on Twitch, I think earlier this week or late last week. But looking back, I realized that I lost my passion for the flute, ironically, around when I got this flute, clear up until this year. And it's just because I had a lot of kind of undealt with anxiety surrounding practicing, surrounding my self-worth. And it just was not dealt with. I just shoved it under the rug all the time. And really bad imposter syndrome. Just a lot of mental things that I didn't deal with early enough. And it caused me, I believe, looking back now, I believe it caused me to lose my passion for the flute. So I would say that I started really healing when I started practicing on Twitch, because like this was almost 2 years ago now. Like I decided to just bear it all on Twitch, not my skin, but what I mean is like every single practice session I have had since I started Twitch have all been on Twitch. I think there was only like a 30-minute stint where I was just testing this head joint out, but it wasn't really practicing. So any practicing is all done on Twitch, everything. And I think just, because I have chat with me, I have you guys with me to keep me company and take me out of my own head. It was a truly very healing process where I started to kind of, it gave me a place where I could explore the flute for its own thing and separate the techniques of what it takes to play the flute from my self-worth, right? And the reason why I was able to do that was because I had to constantly, and I still have to constantly explain to people what I'm doing. Why am I repeating it all the time, right? Like, why am I repeating this phrase all the time? I have to explain why I'm doing it. And in the act of explaining, it separates the technique of what you're doing from your self-worth. It makes you realize that just because you can't do it now doesn't mean that you can't do it later. So it has absolutely no reflection on how good or bad you are of a flutist or of a person, right? So that helped me separate flute playing from my self-worth. And it's been a long journey. And I feel like just kind of when I finally climbed that mountain and conquered that mountain of anxiety, at the top of it was my new head joint. So yeah, definitely lifts my mood because I can finally make the sounds that I hear in my head come alive, you know? Yeah. Oh, Melanie, I'm so sorry you're feeling bad. It's okay to take a break and come back to it. Why can't I be your English teacher? My favorite assignment in my honors English class when I was in 9th grade was when our teacher split us up into guys and girls specifically because there's a guy part and a girl part in Much Ado About Nothing, and they're arguing against each other. And so it goes back and forth like bantering. And she actually had us all read it out to each other and actually made us banter with each other in Shakespearean English. That was my favorite English class, like English, like hour of English class that I ever had. Like I always remember that. That was such a fun experience because it just made the whole thing come to life. Oh my gosh. DC Nanan, hello. No flirting with Joanna? I know, right? Isn't it stupid that I have to make that a rule? Someone tried flirting really hard with me a few weeks ago on Twitch. And I realized that I should communicate it, that I'm very happily married in a monogamous married relationship, even though I'm not wearing a ring. Just not wearing a ring because I handle flutes all the time. Yeah. The website has Auslieb on it. I know, right? Yeah. It's a great website, orchestraexcerpts.com. You're talking about that, right? Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can lower the speed. It says like 100%. You can lower it down. Isn't that wild? What a great, helpful website. My God. I really wish that was I wish that was available when I was in school. Man, that would have just saved me so much time and just, anxiety. Oy. Lewis, you are reading Fahrenheit 451. Isn't that one of those dystopian novels? I didn't read it, but I did read things like The Giver. I also read Handmaid's Tale. That is really scary how a lot of the stuff is actually happening right now, right? Yeah, it's so scary, isn't it? I totally feel you on the scariness. Kane, you're here. It's okay. I'm here for another more than half an hour. I started late because I was making my latte. Yeah, right, Jay Cortez? Yeah. I've re-sparked my passion. And the flute means something to me now. Whereas I think I had two things that kept me going in the approximately 10 years that I lost my passion. One was collaborative music. So I love collaborative music. Like it's just so freaking magical to me. Like it was the thing that drove me to go to school. Like that was the only thing that kept me going to school was my wind quintet. And as it turns out, such was the case for the rest of the wind quintet. We also were only really going to school for each other. And then the other thing is teaching. So those two passions have never left me. I love teaching. And I think for me, it's the seeing that light in that light bulb go off, in the chat here and also in my students' eyes, you know, when I teach them. It's just, and then when they like, I think the most magical thing is when you can teach someone something, like a new concept to them that they find really weird. And then like 2 weeks later, you listen to them again and they've got it, you know? Like, it's just like, oh, you know, like, it's just constant mind blowing to me, like all day, every day. And it is just, it's magical. And I love it. I love it. I love doing that. I love figuring out new students, you know, everyone's unique quirks, understanding what are some baseline things that I have to teach everyone, you know, learning about myself and how I can hand that off to others, to my students. I love that. And I've never lost that. So those two things kept me going in the approximately 10 years that I lost my passion for the flute. And I kind of saw the flute more as a tool to do those two things. You see what I mean? So like, I think a lot of people get really scared of like, oh yeah, you're going to like lose your passion for music if you do this for a living. And yeah, it happened to me, but it doesn't mean it can't come back, right? Like, I never realized that it could come back. I thought that I lost it forever. I mean, 10 years is a long time. Okay. It was more like 11 years. And like, it's okay for it to be lost for a while. And it doesn't mean it's lost forever. Like that's what I've learned this year, is that just because you lose a passion does not mean you've lost it forever. And a lot of people think that that's the end. If you realize that you've lost a passion, it doesn't mean that you've lost it forever. I didn't know that. I didn't know that until this year. It took me completely by surprise regaining it this year. And I really think it's because I finally dealt with the little demons that I've shoved under the rug, right? Over the last 2 years, I've finally started dealing with my imposter syndrome. I finally started dealing with my anxiety with practicing. Lately, what I've been doing is studying the Ibarra Concerto, which I'm deathly afraid of, or was deathly afraid of. And I was also very, very fearful of memorizing anything. So I dealt with that too. So all of my little inner demons that I have shoved under the rug, I've just confronted them over the last 2 years. And like, I really think it's because I dealt with that. That's why that's why I've been able to get to this point of regaining my passion. But if you never deal with those inner demons, then yeah, I don't know how you're going to get your passion back, because those are the things that are holding you back, right? So, you know. Hiya, you left for a while and I'm still streaming. Yeah, I'm here for like 2 hours, man. It's so more people can join. Nicholas, you're here. Just another flute guy. It's been a while. How have you been doing? I mean, you're still active on Discord, so I still see you around. You doing all right, man? It's been a rough time, isn't it? Andy, I know I'm married, right? Majimon Kichi, that guy flirting with me was not flirting. It was just full-on harassment, I think. But, you know, like, I wanted to make sure that people knew, like, just don't harass me in that way, you know? I know, Mizi, I agree. There's nothing better than loving the flute fully without any guilt or anxiety. Yeah, I've finally gotten back to that. And it's taken over 10 years to get back. But I got back, you know? Hiya, you had to read The Giver as part of school. Yeah, it's a good book, by the way. Have you read the other two books too? Gathering Blue and Messenger. They're so good. They're very sad, but they're very, very good. I still have them because it's so good. I think Messenger is actually my favorite out of the three. It's not as shocking as The Giver, because The Giver is very shocking, right? It's like, because, you know, you're kind of going blind into the world into that world, right? Whereas by the time you're reading Gathering Blue and Messenger, it's all actually within the same universe. And so since you already kind of have that shock value that you got over in The Giver, the shock value is not as shocking in Gathering Blue and Messenger, but they're really good books. Yeah. Is someone asking what I'm wearing? Yes, it's my merch. It's my merch. If you want it, you can get a 10% discount. Yeah. It's also in the info box below, so it's a direct link there. You don't have to type this in. Okay, you can just open the info box and just click on the first link. Make sure you use this code at checkout, okay? Andrew, you felt that way on the flute, the imposter syndrome. It's so real, man. Imposter syndrome is like, it's so real, and it can happen in so many different ways. It wasn't until you got brave enough to start lessons with me that those feelings went away. I'm so glad. I mean, you know, like you're talking with another person who's also dealing with imposter syndrome. So, you know, if you're dealing with it the way that I am, you're going to talk about it all the time because you have to, right? Like part of, I think, dealing with imposter syndrome is being open with everything, you know? Yeah. Jay Cortez, you're still trying to get the demons to shut the fuck up. You know what? I talk to the demons now. I don't tell them to shut up. Like, I address it. I am like, okay, I feel this way. Here's my answer, right? Like, I'm not telling them to shut up. Like, my biggest inner demon is, when are they going to find out you're a fraud? Okay? My answer to that is, well, if they think that, they already think that. Because literally all of my practicing is online. I have literally nothing to hide. There's nothing to hide at all. 100% nothing. Yeah. Oriana, you don't want to regain your passion for the oboe? Oh, why not though? It's a beautiful instrument. Yeah. You're done with your grad school recordings, Nicholas. Congratulations. That must be such a huge relief. Whew. Crazy. Flute Roops. I remember your username. I remember saying that is a cute username. So Flute Roops. I know, right? Isn't it sad that I have to have a fifth rule, which is not to flirt with me? It's so sad, right? I know. This is why we can't have nice things, guys. This is why we can't have nice things. Like, I just told you exactly how to fix your low notes, Unspirit. I'm so glad. Yay. I mean, here's the thing, okay? I'm being completely honest with you guys. If you asked me this question 3 months ago, I would not have been able to answer like that. I literally only finally figured out why it works, and that whole thing about air placement, blah, blah, blah. Why does putting it in the front of your mouth actually work? I didn't figure that out until 3 months ago. And, I think we should all say a prayer of thanks to Saint Linda Lucas for giving me the starting tools to get to this conclusion. If not for her, I would have never figured this out. Holy cow. Saint Linda Lucas. Ah, yes. She's the patron saint of the Just Another Flutist community. I hope she doesn't mind. I hope she doesn't mind. Oh, my God. Jane, imposter syndrome, you after graduating. Oh my God, me too, man. It got worse after graduating. That's actually do you guys realize that snark that I have in, sort of underneath kind of like the snarky tone of Flute 101. You know that video that I made? I made that right after graduating. And the snarky tone, I now realize, was to cover up my imposter syndrome. Like, I wanted to make fun of the flute because to me, it felt like I was battling that inner demon. What I didn't realize until now was that I shouldn't battle the demon. I should talk to it. You know? But I was young and naive and green. So I ended up making a video like that. And of course, that's my most viewed video now. You know. Oh, did I say a naughty word? Man, you're absolutely welcome in spirit. Hey, Carmen. I inspired you to play the flute again? Oh my God, thank you. Thank you for telling me. That's so sweet. I know, right, Linda? Linda. Isn't Linda one of the deities of your of our Jaff church? Yeah. She's basically the patron saint of our community here. Yeah. I hope she doesn't mind that we just canonized her to Saint Linda Lucas. Yeah. Does that mean that the kitties pray to the spam and the Linda? Yeah. So the Hello Kitties that he's talking about is up here. So I have a few. They were a gift from a friend, and I might have 2 cans of spam up there. Is that no spam fam except for real spam? Yeah, it's a running joke over on Twitch. The cult has begun. Oh no! Ifrit can only be caught with skills. Wait, do I have an Ifrit? I don't have an Ifrit. I have a Magitech armor up here though, which I just realized. Sorry, I'm gonna get into video game nerdiness here. I'm gonna grab my Magitech armor. All right. I hope there's not a missing piece on here, but so I have a Magitech armor little figure. So this is from the Final Fantasy games, and this one in particular is from the World of Final Fantasy game where they're all like chibified. So anyway, here, I'll show you guys here. So I just realized that there is a spot in here. Like, I was dusting this the other day, and then I discovered that there's a spot in here where you can buy a different figure and like anchor them in here. I didn't even realize that until I was dusting it, and I was like, wait a second. There's a spot in here to put someone in. I didn't even know. I've owned this for years now. And then like I was just dusting it the other day, and I was like, oh, wait a second. Like, what? How did I say Ifrit? Ifrit. Is that not how you say it? That's how John says it. Yeah, the Chibi Final Fantasy. This is a world of... That was actually my... I think that was my second Final Fantasy game. Because the first one I played was FF4. And then the second one I did was World of Final Fantasy. And then I jumped all the way to FF7 Remake. Which is a great game, guys. It made me cry. Oh my gosh. Anyway, putting that back. Okay. Nerding out done. Hey, you know what? So Flute Roops is you play flute and also tenor sax. Now, Lewis is asking how is transferring from flute to saxophone. You know what's interesting? I have 1 or 2 students who have learned the flute after the saxophone, and that's a transition that's pretty darn hard. Apparently, that's pretty darn hard because like a lot of what you do on the saxophone is like completely the opposite of what you would do on the flute. Same thing for like trumpet to flute, as Andrew would know. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Did I just sound British Canadian there for a sec? Yo, my accent is all over the place. Like, it like comes in little bits here and there. Did I drop an F-bomb? I didn't even notice. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. This is supposed to be family friendly. I'm sorry. Did I really? Oh, no. Oh, no. One of the fingerings from saxophone to flute that is the hardest to wrap your head around is that the correct fingering for F sharp on a saxophone is the alternate fingering for F sharp on the flute. I know, right? Oh, what a brain tease it is. George, you transferred from tuba to flute. Yeah, I didn't, right? I don't think I dropped an F-bomb. Oh no! Wait, when did I drop it? Oh no! All right, now you guys know. IRL, I do swear. To, you know, emphasize. It's like italics. You can't drop it all the time, right? You have to do it like, you know, specifically to emphasize things. You know? Yeah. Does your head in, Mizzy? Right? That F sharp from saxophone to flute? Yeah. Ah, my poor students who have to deal with it. Oh, and I read STFU. Really? I must have said it. Oh, sorry, guys. Well, now you guys know I'm a real person. Oh, spicy Joanna. Being spicy today. Is this a Christian religious channel? Oh my God, you guys are the best. Cole, it drives you crazy too. Welcome to the stream, by the way. My goodness. I didn't even notice I dropped the F-bomb. Whoopsies. Sorry, guys. You owe me a mocha for that. Don't worry about it, Jay Cortez. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Now you guys know I'm real, you know? Am I not allowed to be a person? Oh. You guys, if that's spicy, you're a full Vindaloo daily. I love it. Carmen, your teenage son missed it, so no worries. So I didn't actually, you know what? Let's talk about swearing. So I didn't start swearing until I swore in private. I think maybe end of high school into early university. And then I didn't start like using curse words like in normal language. I think until maybe mid music school, so mid bachelor's. And I distinctly remember so my chamber music professor, he actually I actually had the opportunity to have him as a chamber music coach, actually from when I was really young. It was, I'm forever very grateful and fortunate that this happened. But I met him when I was like 14, and he was my chamber music professor then. And I was just this like, you know, green, naive little girl. And so he really kind of like molded me into the chamber musician that I ended up becoming. And he was actually one of the professors that I took out for lunch and asked him, what the heck do I do after graduating? So he means a lot to me. And he's another basically patron saint of this community. He really made me the chamber musician that I am today. And so he remembers me from when I was like really young and naive and green and pure and, you know, not knowing much about the world. And then he coached me clear up until like first year, second year, I think first year. And we kept in contact, even though he was no longer our professor, our chamber music coach for the next 3 years. We kept in close contact. And he, you know, because when I was younger, my parents had to be the one driving me to orchestra and to chamber music stuff, because I was only 14, I couldn't drive. And so he had actually met my mom, and you know, and he's so charming, and my mom loves him, and so I think he first heard me curse in like second or third year or something like that. And the next time he saw my mom, he actually was like, Mrs. C, I'm sorry that we have, what was the word he used? That we have corrupted your daughter. He's like, I'm so sorry that music school has corrupted your pure daughter. And my mom's like, oh, come on. She's been cursing at home like for years now. She just has been shy to curse in public until now. Yeah, so even my chamber music professor felt that music school corrupted me. Yeah. Swearing is a sign of intelligence. Is it, April? Thank you. I'll take it. Yo, I did not mean to say patron S word. No. I was kind of blending two words at the same time. Sometimes I have like oral dyslexia and I just kind of like blend words together and stuff, or I skip whole words. Yeah, it's terrible. Flute Roops, you're taking AP theory. You hate how it's only about counterpoint writing. Oh my goodness. Very Eurocentric and impractical. That's a very interesting viewpoint you have. I have a student who's working on kind of, I guess you could call it racial politics of Western music. And you're right, it is very Eurocentric. I haven't studied that aspect, so I can't really definitively say anything about it. I certainly have had my own experience with discrimination, and which I will share with you guys at a later date. I'm just not really ready for it right now. But yeah, you're right, it's a problem. That's all I'll say for now. It's a problem. Yeah, but I'm not really like well versed enough in the research to talk about it much, but it's a problem. Yeah. Is this going to be our little inside joke now this month? What? Me swearing. You're scared to lose connection with your band director. Email them every now and then. They love to hear back from you. Email them every now and then. Just with a random update. Just like, hey, this is what I'm up to right now. Let me tell you. I'm a teacher, okay? Teachers love that kind of thing. You can absolutely stay in contact. Yeah. Oh, for Discord you mean? All right, got it. Jane, that's hilarious. Your first swear word. That's so cute. You had similar experience? Oh, so funny. There was once a tenor that claimed to be the highest singing tenor, who also claimed singing high notes eradicates the brain. Oh! I feel like he's not really doing himself a favor there, don't you think? Hmm? All right, George is asking if I've ever done marching band. No, I have not had the opportunity, and I will tell you the story. Why? So when I started the flute, the current band director at my school, at my elementary school, was a tyrant. And my brother was in band playing the trumpet. And he had horrible traumatic experience with this band teacher. This band teacher, for example, would throw chairs at students. Okay, we're not just talking about mental abuse here. This is like full-on physical abuse. She eventually was fired. That's true. But it just so happened that when I started the flute and when I would have gone into beginning band, my brother actually specifically told me that he was not allowing me to attend band because he was scared that I would get hurt. Love? Okay. Do you want to say hi or no? No? Okay. We're doing drumsticks, right? Yeah. 400, 375 I think I normally do 400. I'll get this right. Oh, thank you, love. That is my husband. He's getting the oven going because we seasoned some chicken drumsticks last night. We're going to put it in. Yes, that was Ninja Hubs. He's being a ninja again. Are you guys allowed to say hello? Not yet. All right, my stream says hi. I'll tell him later, guys. Joanna wife mode on. Man, I love him. I love him so much. He's never getting away from me. All right, Mizzy, your mom had a teacher like that. Guy had his issues and would throw chairs at students. One time he threw a chair out the window. Soon after, people in white coats escorted him out the school. I am so glad. Holy cow, that sounds unhinged. Oh my God. Samuel, the only thing that happened to your director was a stroke mid-practice. Oh my gosh, that must have been traumatic for you students. Holy cow. What? Oh my God. Did I go into Sunday school voice? I'm sorry, guys. I'm a pastor's daughter. It sticks with you for life. I am a pastor's daughter that swears. I know. Sacrilegious. Who's a YouTuber and online content creator. You heard John? You guys can hear John? He has the silkiest, smoothest voice ever. Okay, sorry. I'm just going to fangirl over my own husband, okay? He has the silkiest voice ever. Like, best radio voice. Oh. Carmen, your son recommends the Genshin Impact game. I think was it 2 streams ago now. I played Genshin Impact on stream. It's a great game. I'm still playing it. Beautiful music. My God. You guys need to look up the behind the scenes of them making the music. So good. So good. Oh my gosh, the music. Especially the Liwei music. It just speaks to me because it's like this perfect marriage of Chinese music and like Western orchestral music. It's like the perfect marriage of the two, and it just speaks to me. Ugh. Brittany, all your directors were so kind and like your family. I'm so glad you had that experience. I mean, I definitely had professors that were like my family too, 100%. So like, I'm very glad that my brother prevented that kind of traumatic experience from happening to me. But that did mean that I just never got into band at all. Like that was kind of the first domino piece that I had to sidestep, and then I never did band in school. And that's why I never did marching band. So just to kind of finish off answering that question. Yeah. Could Mr. Jaff be the next voice for Chef on South Park? I mean, he probably could. Carmen, your 13-year-old approves of me. Oh, dude, thank you, man. You can tell your 13-year-old. Are you watching? If you're watching, I pulled Clee the other day. Oh, yeah. I pulled Clee, the little red Bernie girl. She's this cute little like chibi girl, very short, throws bombs everywhere. And when she's running around, she goes, da da da, la la la, phew, phew. She's real cute. She also does tons of damage. I think she's my highest damage person in my party. So it's a pretty good party. I need to switch out the main guy for Bennett, who's a fire sword user who also heals. And then second guy is Kaya, so he's my ice dude. And then I have Klee, who's my bombs. And then I have Barbara, who's water. So I do this thing where I like I wet enemies with Barbara, freeze them with Kaya, explode them with Klee's bombs. It does tons of damage. It's fantastic. It's a great team I have. Yeah. Sorry, I just went on a total like video game tangent right there, but yeah. Me and my husband should do a mukbang. We could. One day when husband is more comfortable in front of the camera. He did say that one day it might happen. Evan, welcome to the stream. You are excited for your flute lesson tomorrow, and you have a good teacher. Oh, that's fantastic. Great combination. He's agreeing with me? Yes. It's a great team, isn't it? Yeah. So I need to switch out because I still have Traveler as my like the first person in my party. I really need to switch out the Traveler because I can't ascend his weapon because I don't have the items for it. So like Bennett's probably better anyway. So I drew Bennett and I drew Klee. So I'm like pretty good. Looking forward to the to Zhong Li coming out. He's I like his outfit. That's actually why I'm going to pull for him. But we'll see. I'm not really spending any money on the game. It's just these are all free pulls that, I got lucky with. So, yeah. Yeah, John and I are very cheap. These free-to-play games, the way they make money is to make you pay to get a chance at it's like a lottery, basically. It's like you pay for a chance to pull certain powerful characters or powerful weapons for your team. And so I got lucky because I earned the Primo Gems to pull. And I think I only pulled like once or twice, like 110 pull and got Klee like that. It was pretty good. So, but yeah. So these free-to-play games, that's how they make their money. They make their money on people who are willing to pay thousands of dollars to pull these fictional characters for their video game team. But we don't do that. We just like play the game, and the game itself will give you rewards to pull on this lottery. And so we just do the gameplay part. We don't pay real money. We're cheap. Yeah. What drink of choice is today? this lovely new thing from Trader Joe's. It is maple espresso black tea blend. And if you like all these three things, you will like this. It is fantastic. This has been, delightful. It's so good. Have I played Persona 4? Not yet. I started Persona 5, but it got so real. It was a little traumatic for me, actually. So I kind of stopped playing it for a little while. And I do want to go back to it, though. Persona 5 is really good. Didn't see it coming. I freaking love that. Like, that's the battle song, man. It's so good. Oh, Persona 5 is fantastic. But like some of that, like the creep factor is a little too real. Like it got a little, time check. Oh, thank you, Majimonkiji. Okay, I'll end soon. Maybe in like 5 minutes or so. What do you think, guys? I'm not a gacha gamer. No, I'm not. I'm not a whale. That's the term that people give to people who are willing to spend thousands of dollars, getting fictional waifus and husbandos. We're not that type. So, for me, it's like if I don't pull it, whatever. It's okay. I can still enjoy the game, Your coffee machine is gone. It's gone to be serviced. Hope to have it back for gingerbread latte. Oh. Okay. 2 flavors that I love for Christmas are peppermint and gingerbread. Those 2 flavors, to me, is just Christmas. Does his husband still sing barbershop? No, not anymore. Well, one, because you can't really, in the situation that we're in right now. But before that, he already stopped because we got too busy planning our wedding. So unfortunately, he had to stop because planning our wedding was taking up so much time that we were just burnt out. So he had to pull out. So we actually want to find a choir for us to both sing in. But that also ain't happening right now. So maybe whenever a vaccine comes out and things are safe again, Leon sounds like some of the crazy World of Warcraft folks. Yeah. I don't know if World of Warcraft, does it have a gacha aspect to it? I don't think it has a gacha aspect to it, though. He didn't sing at my wedding? No, but he picked all the music. I picked one song, right? You know what the one song was? You guys can look it up on YouTube. It was my bridal processional. And it is Challengers from the League of Legends Volume 1 orchestral album. So look up League of Legends Challengers and you'll probably see it and listen to it. That was my bridal processional. I picked one song. Everything else John picked, and it was fantastic. Yeah. I know, I've been married for 1.5 years. Isn't that crazy, guys? Yeah. Did my husband consider YouTubing like me? No, because it's not his personality. Yeah. He's much more of a behind the scenes type of guy, as you can tell. And he enjoys his work. I really love listening to him talk about like the stuff that he does for work. He gets like really excited and it's so cute. For my bridal processional flute choir, no, I didn't. You have to keep in mind, it was still during the time that I lost my passion for the flute. So the last thing I wanted was flute stuff in my wedding. Now that I think back, I know now why. Yeah. You thought I was gonna say Star Wars Throne Room? I mean, pretty close, right? It has that probably has that same type of that kind of like processional, stately feel to it. Is Mr. Jeff a singer? Yes, he is. He sings for fun, and he is much better than me. His ear is so good. My God, it's hilarious because it's a great way to annoy him. Is I can sing anything, and because my ear is so poor, I don't notice when I sing a wrong interval or if I sing things in the wrong key. I don't notice those things. I'm like happy-go-lucky, but he's just like, oh. And it is really funny. Did I tell Ninja Hubs about the inside jokes that you have on Twitch and Discord? Oh yeah, he knows about you guys throwing Jello at each other. Yeah, he knows. I showed him my bot too that allows you guys to throw Jello at each other on Twitch. According to the news, vaccines start rolling out in December. Oh, that would be fantastic if that's the case. That would be fantastic if that's the case. Yeah. Carmen, thank you so much. It has been a year and a half. It's so nice to still be congratulated on getting married, though. Thank you. Was the new head joint the return of the passion? It was the crowning glory at the top of the mountain. But I'd been already kind of starting on that path since I started Twitch. So it's like, it wasn't the reason why. It was just kind of the extra, very expensive cherry on the top. You know? Am I too funny? What Jello? I know, right? Majimon Kichi? Unsphered, you're listening to it now. Challengers, isn't it amazing? That entire soundtrack is amazing, and it's for free. You guys can download it for free. They made it for free. It's like you don't have to buy it. And I like everything except the last two. I don't really like, it's the last 2 or 3. I can't remember. I think it's like 3. The last 3 tracks, I'm just not really into. Because the one that comes after Challengers is the one that's around the character Jinx, who's kind of like this like crazy girl that wants to shoot everything. And then, so I don't really like that particular track. And then the one after that, I think is, it's like the really creepy undead one. It's very well done. I will say that it's very well done, but it's really creepy. So, and then I think there's one that's surrounding Heimerdinger. I think it's Heimerdinger. I can't remember, but like, I don't know. I don't really like any of the tracks that come after Challengers, but that's just a personal taste. They are very well done, though. I will say that. Those tracks are very well done. Just not really my taste, you know. Gaurav, hello. What is your question? I don't see your question yet if you asked it. I'm about to end, so I think you came in just in time for me to answer your question. I'm about to end very soon. What is your question? Thank you for being a fan. Although, you know, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. The word fan makes me a little bit uncomfortable. I hope you very much realize that I am just a very normal person. What is your question? Ask me the question. Yeah. So, in spirit, I walked down the aisle to that song. I loved it. It was great. You know that moment where, like, you know, in the very beginning, we'll right? And there's that big, like, bass drum, like, timpani or whatever it is, like the big bonk, right? That huge, like, drum beat right at the beginning. It apparently made at least one of our guests jump in their seat. So during the rehearsal, when we were going through this, so my maid of honor, my best friend's then fiance, 2 weeks later they were married too, but then fiance was our music person, and you know, he was kind of like, you know, doing the levels and stuff like that, and in the rehearsal, because I ran the rehearsal. I know it's really unusual, but I ran the rehearsal. Oh my gosh, I sound like such a control freak when I say that, but I ran the rehearsal, and then so he's kind of playing with the levels, and I'm like, louder, 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 and apparently I think he put it on max volume. And by the time he got to max volume, I was like, okay, that's it. It needs to be freaking loud. Like, it needs to be a processional, you know? Yeah, it was great. All right, Majin Monkichi, I saw. Thank you. It was an inappropriate question. All right, I didn't even see it. So thank you very much, guys. You guys are the greatest. Perfect. Shall I I want to collaborate with Sarah. I think she tagged me on Instagram, and I need to watch a little video where she tagged me on Instagram. Yeah. I need to collaborate with her, especially now that I'm like kind of finally like mentally at a much better place. Like I feel like I'm like, yeah, I want to like do things now, you know? Awesome. Yo, you guys are the best. Team Mod, yeah, you guys are great. High five. High five, high five, guys, high five. We keep in the chat a safe place. Yeah. This is a great segue, actually, to my goodbye. Everyone, please give a round of applause for our mods for helping to keep this chat a safe and lovely place, and for keeping everyone in line so we can just talk about the fun things. Alrighty. I love you all so very much. Thank you for joining me today. I feel like I needed this talk a lot. Like, it's just really nice to be 100% back. Like, mentally 100% back. I'm sure a lot of you guys could tell that I was burning out like 2 years ago. I mean, who wouldn't after that long of losing your passion, right? But like, you know, for those of you who have stuck around for this long, seriously, thank you. Like, your support means the world to me, and it really, like, I don't know. It's just, I feel very loved, and I hope that you guys feel loved too. So, thank you. All right, guys. I love you so very much, okay? Very important. Please stay happy, healthy, and safe, okay? And when I say safe, I mean mask up, all right? Social distance, physical distance. Happy, please do your self-care things that you know make you feel good. Please do them every day a little bit just to keep your head above the water. Healthy, please hydrate. Please move your limbs around a little bit. Please sleep well, eat well. All right. Very important right now that we like keep ourselves really healthy during this time. Okay. That's how we can all make it through together. And please reach out to each other, like here. And you can come and join us if you want to see more of me, you know, and hang out with me and with everyone here. Come over to Twitch. I've put it here, twitch.tv/justanotherflautist. That's where I am there. So join us there. I'll be live again tomorrow, but then I'll be taking a week off. But I'm considering playing some games next week on Twitch. So if you guys want to hang out, I'll be there. All right? Oh, Jane. Guys are so sweet. All right. See you later, guys. I love y'all so much. Bye-bye.